back on Drunkish.
Yay.
You're
And
like
you
my
said my last
OG.
name right.
Well, don't forget, I did have to ask you before the first time you came on. I was like, please,
Okay, but I feel like even I say it wrong sometimes.
how do
So,
you say it?
well, I don't know. But I mean, it's not an easy one to remember, I feel like. So that you just like nailed it. Like it was nothing.
Well, I had to make sure that I
Okay.
learned it when you told me the first time and that I
Yeah.
practiced it a few times before having you
Oh,
on.
okay. Well, you nailed it. That was so good.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm so happy to be back. I feel like I feel at home here with you. I really
Me
do.
too.
Right?
I don't get any of the like, oh God, I have to remember everything. I feel like you and I can
Oh.
just chat.
We've literally been talking for like 15 minutes before we recorded. We
I
can
know.
chat about anything.
Oh, we can. We
Oh, we
can.
can.
I
And
was
we
like,
will.
what? Okay, because we talked a lot on your first appearance. So if anybody wants to hear the whole Suzanne story,
The whole thing.
you can listen to the first episode, which was a couple months ago. But there's always more. There's always more to the story.
Yeah, there's more. And now I get to talk. I feel like I didn't know what I was doing as far as the book goes the last time I was on. Remember? And you're like, "No, no,
Yes.
no, say it." And I was like, "Can I?" And you're like, "Yes, of course you can. It's your book." I wasn't like really in the promotional phase of the book. And now, oh man, am I in it. I'm like holding up a sign outside my house being like, "The Sober Shift, September 30th. Pre-order it now." Like I will push it to anyone who will listen. So
You
I'm
got to get
excited.
those pre-sales.
Oh my God, I know. It
I
is,
know.
it's all about the pre-sales, right?
It's all
That's
about, well, it's okay. It's not
okay.
all about
Okay.
the pre-sales. They like you to have some pre-sales, but here's the thing. You
Yeah.
are going to sell a lot of books because you have a lot of fans. You have a lot of people that follow you. You're an influencer. So I don't think you have to worry too much.
Okay.
Um, but you do have to sort of make yourself available to people who might not know who you are
Right.
without it.
It's just it's a very weird thing. Even to hear you say, like, you have fans, I'm like, that's insane. No, like, it's all very, it's just weird. This whole thing is very surreal. Like even having a book, I don't like have the actual book in my hands yet, but when that's going to happen, like it's just going to be weird, all of it. And then to have people reading the words that I wrote for so long, and a lot of it is my story and stories that I haven't told on the podcast, which I know is like shocking to some people because I talk so much. They're like, wait, you have more things left to say. And yeah, I do. I have so much to say, and it's in there. Do
And
you hear my dog?
did you feel like some of those things, okay, let me speak author to author for a moment.
Okay.
When you were writing,
Yeah.
'cause I know that I was like, well, I've told my story a lot of times to people. And then when I went to actually write my story, I was like, oh, I forgot about that.
Yes.
And then
Oh,
I had to
totally.
decide, do I want to tell that story? Because at this
Yes.
point, I could just not tell that story.
Yes. Oh, it's so, yeah, can you hear my dog?
No.
Oh, okay, good. It's so, it was healing and it was also terrifying to like sit down and I'm looking back at my life because most of it is my story. It's other women's stories too, which I really wanted to include. But in my story, yeah, I had to look back and say, like, okay, like where did alcohol come in? Like, what did inform my opinion and relationship with alcohol? Like, what started that? A lot of it is me going back and telling like part of my dad's story, right? Because that was my story too. And that's really uncomfortable. He's no longer here. And so that feels, a little like, do I want to keep this for me? Or I just want to make sure that I don't know, honoring him in the best way I can while also really telling how it was for me to grow up with a dad who drank a lot for a period of time. Um, and then, yeah, some skeletons that are out there and like my not great moments. I'm not like, hey guys, these are all the really great decisions I made. No, this is like, yeah, here's a lot of shit that I fucked up, in my 20s and
That's a
how it
good title
affected
for a
me.
book. Just shit that I fucked up.
Yes. All the shit that I fucked up. That's the subtitle. But it's true. And then, I think because most of my drinking was before I was a mom, I guess I kind of thought like, well, we'll just leave that there. Like that party girl, um, blackout drinker, we can leave her there and then it's not going to affect me here, like in my 30s and 40s and as a mom. And that's just not true. Even if I no longer drank, and I didn't drink in motherhood the way I drank in my 20s, but like the way that I drank in my 20s affected me, affected me even when I wasn't drinking. And that shame and those stories and how I would do things that I never would have done had alcohol not been in the picture, right? And so there's a specific story that I write about that I am confronted very clearly, like as I'm in my daughter's nursery and rocking her, and something from my past comes back kind of into my current day motherhood. And it like jolted me. And when it feels like you just get like punched in the gut and like, oh, holy shit. Like I had forgotten about that. And yeah, so there's all of that, like kind of the reckoning of the wreckage that drinking caused in my 20s.
Did you feel like, because you're making me think of this for myself, I
Yeah.
also drank that way in my 20s, blackout drinker, driving drunk, not really
Yeah.
suffering too many consequences, but not feeling great about myself, wondering
Yeah.
like, do I drink too much? Humiliating myself sometimes. But when I became a mom, I definitely thought, oh, now I'm going to be this other kind of drinker, this wine drinker that's like, it's going to be much classier as a
Yeah,
mom.
it's super classy. Yeah, first of all, it's wine. You know what I mean? Which just right there.
So
We're just
different,
like, yeah, that's like way different, you guys.
way
And it's
classier.
yeah, the bottle's pink. I mean, come on. You
It's
kidding me?
kind of
This
high
is
level.
fine.
Listen,
Yeah.
this is now instead of partying, I'm going to be unwinding.
Yes. And like literally a lady who lunches. Like
Oh,
this is
yeah.
during the day. Oh my God, day drinking is like the most triggering thing to me. Oh my God. I just don't think there's hell on earth more than day drinking.
Well, I have a story in my book about going to lunch when my older daughter, well, I'd met a mom at Mommy and Me, and
Yes.
my daughter Elby was, you know, literally like 6 months old. And I had this other mom, we were going to go do something, and we went to a Mexican restaurant. I don't know if you remember this from my book, but I was like, well, we're at a Mexican restaurant and we don't have jobs and we're with our baby. So, like, obviously, we're going to get a margarita, right? That seems
Yes.
real
Uh-huh.
obvious. And then
Uh-huh.
my friend was like, "Oh, not for me, because like I have to drive or some bullshit
Yeah.
excuse, right?"
Loser. Nerd.
And that was my thinking, was just like, what is wow, like how
Yes.
unfun are these people? Like, oh, moms, they suck. Like I can't be friends with other, and then
Yes.
I think I believe that she really just wouldn't let me bully her into getting a margarita. And I did have to just get one for myself because I was like, well,
Yeah. You're like, I'm not gonna let you stop me.
it's fun killer.
Yeah. Such a
So it
dweeb.
seems so embarrassing looking back. Like looking back, I cringed writing that story
Yeah.
because, and I've talked to, this is still a friend of mine, really good, one of my best friends to this day. And I've many times just been like, what did you think when I was, because
Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating. I really was trying to talk her into it. And she
Yes.
says
Oh, yeah.
she just felt bad because she was like, no, but I really am kind of a lightweight. She goes, I just
And
felt
you're like,
bad. He really
and?
wanted to drink.
I mean, okay, I'm laughing because I remember that story in your book, and I have a very, very similar story, but my friend did not say no. And we were then like, well, yeah, obviously, this is what we're going to do. We don't have to drive anywhere. Like, we can walk from the country club to my house, keep it going, bottle of champagne. And that was the only time, and this was my oldest was like 9 months old or 10 months old. And so this was the only time I was blacked out in front of any of my children. And she was obviously a baby and didn't know what the hell was going on. And thank God nothing happened. Like it was fine. Like she was safe. Like my best friend's daughter was safe. But that moment, oh my God, stuck with me until I quit drinking. Like from then on, I was like the master of moderation. And I had like the strictest boundaries and I controlled alcohol like so well. And I hated it. It was horrible because the shame was the same. Like with moderation, even if I was like, yeah, I'll have 2 glasses of wine, I still would like just it was just so wrapped up in shame for me and just the energy it took to do that and to figure out how to drink in this better, more classy way, you know? Oh, yeah, but that your story where it stopped, mine kept going right there on that night. And then my husband came home at like, from work at like 6, and I was like blacked out because that's what happens in day drinking.
Did he know?
Oh yeah. Okay, this is funny. I don't even know if I wrote this, but he was like, "Oh no." Like what is my wife is like. And my best friend was also drunk. Like he called her husband like, "We got to do something about our wives because they're here." The babies were asleep on the couch and our wives are wasted. And so her husband came to
It's
get
not funny, but
no, but
it's kind of
it's
funny.
funny now.
It's funny
Like
to
it's
me
funny now.
because I relate. It's
Yes.
I mean, and because
It's
we're sober. It's funny because
yes,
we're
it's
sober.
funny because we are safe and sober and like have lived to tell the tale, but you can understand when I come down the next morning. Do you know what my husband did? He
What?
put I don't know if this is an asshole move or it's funny, but at the time, of course, because I was like steeped in shame and like, oh my God, how could I have let this happen? Right? I'm a mom now. I'm not supposed to like, I thought I would just be able to not do that. He had caution tape taped around the living room where the mess. And
Oh my
so
God,
to
that's
make it
amazing.
even worse, I come down to like caution tape. Like my living room was like, yeah, and it was a wreck. Oh God. It was that was like the last time. And I had gotten like drunk in motherhood, but never around my kids. I then made it like I don't know. It was just like that was just never going to happen again. But yeah.
So
And
when
it
you say
yeah.
that that made it was worse when you were
Yeah.
moderating, why do you say that? Because it was just hard to moderate because you thought about it even
Because
more?
yeah, I think that I always come back to this like Annie Grace quote that's 99% is a bitch, 100% is a breeze. And that is so what it is for me. I was convinced that because I wasn't drinking every day, I wasn't getting blackout drunk every time I drank, I wasn't, drinking them. All of these things that we think make us qualified for sobriety, I wasn't that. And I had so much evidence collected of why I didn't need to stop drinking. And I just I thought I had to figure out a better way. I thought, like, I'm an adult and I'm a mom and I deserve to be able to drink wine. And so I'm going to figure out how to make this work. And yeah, it was hard because it's a highly addictive substance. And like, if you have a highly addictive substance in your life, it's going to take willpower, it's going to take energy. And some people, like the threshold for that is higher. Mine was very high. Like my willpower, top notch. Like when I decide I'm going to do something, I can kind of just like, yeah, I'm going to quit sugar and then I do it. I mean, we'll talk about that. That's a different story. But, you know, like I can just decide, but it takes so much. And then I wasn't ever looking at the shame. And it was the shame around my relationship with alcohol. And I always consider that like the mold in the basement and the shame of the stories that, you know, decades of stories I had collected on like what, how I was when I invited alcohol in and like what it actually took from me because it took so much. And yeah. And then actually I didn't black out like around my kids until the last time I was drinking when I nursed my baby in a blackout. And that was 10 years. No, no, not 10 years later. That was 5 years later then.
From when you had that
The caution
blackout with it.
tape.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, and I think that's what this book is about. And that's
Yeah.
why your story speaks to me so much. And maybe my story speaks to
Yes.
you is
Yeah.
because, maybe from the outside looking in, I think this is really interesting. And you may find this when the reviews start coming in.
I'm
Brace yourself.
terrified. I know. You gotta
But
help. You gotta talk me through that
I
because
will talk you through it. Don't read them.
it's gonna be a dopamine seeking thing though, right?
Well, look, you're going to get reviews from people just the same way you have on your podcast, where they love you and they thank you and they see themselves in your story. And that's
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
some people are not going to resonate. And for some reason, those people are going to want to let you know that. I
Yes.
don't understand
I
what the
don't
thinking
either.
is that,
Yeah, keep
like,
it
when
to
you
yourself.
don't care for something, but you need to really make sure that the person who did this art, created this, knows that it
Which we
really didn't
can't
work
do
for you.
anything about that. Like it's done. Like the ink is dry. Like I can't change it for you. Sorry.
Right.
Like it's done. Yeah.
I for some reason, and I think it's because I've written a lot of books now,
Yeah.
it sometimes it doesn't bother me the same way it used to. So
Okay.
I can read them and just go like, huh. When
Yeah.
I wrote Sippy Cups Are Not for Chardonnay, which was like 20 years ago now,
Yeah.
uh, oh God, those reviews, because people were real mad. And
Yeah.
and that was not a sobriety book. So, but
Right.
that was people calling me an alcoholic. And I was
Right.
like,
It was like
how
the opposite.
dare you?
Like, wait a
You don't,
second.
yeah.
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is that what's really interesting is that some people were like, wow, I can't believe this girl who wrote this book, this woman thinks she had like was high functioning.
Yes.
Like she was
Yes.
so clearly a really bad alcoholic. But then there's
Yes.
other people that are like, well, she wasn't even that bad. Like that's
Yes.
I don't even see why she quit drinking. Like,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I think what you're saying is like it's such a personal thing because I think other women might have some of the same experiences we had and not feel a level of shame.
Yes. Or just yeah, I think you're totally right. Like I think I can say like, yeah, I nursed my baby in a blackout. That's what caused me to stop drinking, but I didn't hit rock bottom. And I can completely hear 100 people saying, hello, that's rock bottom, right?
Exactly.
Um, I think it's all about the evidence collection, right? And it's all about the like seeing if you're still in the mind. And this is where I'm so careful not to put anyone in the position to defend alcohol. Like, I don't want to do that. And so, like, if you are not ready to quit drinking, well, you're probably not going to listen to this podcast if you're not ready to quit drinking, right? But anyone in my life, like, if anyone's saying, like, oh, you aren't quote unquote that bad, or you weren't that bad, or some sort of whatever this amorphous, like, finish line we have set for ourselves that says like yes you can now enter into a life without alcohol um yeah like I think that there will be many people who say well no you hit rock bottom but then on the flip side yeah like I think that many women I mean especially now post COVID and during COVID moms are drinking more than ever I don't think stories like mine and like yours are rare. I think that we have like set up this like idea of a normal drinker, maybe as like a, I don't know, take it or leave it, or like stop at one. And that's not how people, women, moms especially, are drinking. It's just not. Like moms are drinking now more than ever because we've been targeted and because we've been sold that alcohol will help. Um, all of the things that motherhood brings, and that's the biggest lie ever. But yeah, I think you're right.
And
I gotta
then
get ready.
here,
I
and
gotta
then
get ready for that.
people that drink, a glass of wine is not
Yeah.
like who we're speaking to, right? But
Yeah.
so, like, let me tell you when my rock bottom, which was driving drunk, but
Yep.
let me tell you how that happened. I'm having a fun time. The kids are really little. One of my twins, I still don't remember which one I was with, but one of them they were 18 months, the twins, and my oldest daughter was 4.5. I'm invited to a friend's house who's having like a bunch of fun people over. There is a nanny there who's watching like the younger kids, and there's like a little trampoline area, and it's like a nice house, and she's pouring martinis. It's not like when you hear me say that I drove drunk, I think what people picture is like I just went to a bar, got wasted,
Right.
and was like driving around town with my kids.
Or like
No,
you have Jack in a paper bag and you're like swigging it while you're behind the wheel, right?
right.
Like, yes.
It's like,
No,
no, I didn't set
that's
out
not.
to get drunk. I set out to like unwind like I always did. And I
Yeah.
set out in my mind to like have a drink.
Yeah.
And this is what I
Yes.
always did. And this is why it turns out to be my rock bottom, is because it was the clarifying moment of like, oh, I don't think there'll ever be a time where I really am able to just have a drink and unwind. I don't
Yes.
ever want one drink. So
Because like
yeah,
that's not how it's designed. Like it's
yes.
not designed for us to want one. And I think that we're not in the minority of people who like I can think of like just a few people in my life who ever just are like, one, I'm good, right? I'll stop. The majority aren't. Even if it's two, even if it's three, it's still over the course of time because of tolerance, because of how highly addictive it is, it will ramp up. And so, even if you're not starting with 5 glasses of wine, right? You're starting with two every night. And then slowly and slowly, it ramps up. And even the two every night, I mean, you're still gonna, especially like I'm in perimenopause, and like you're gonna wake up at 3 a.m. with that spiral of like anxiety and all of this stuff, like even just feeling dusty and foggy in the morning when you have to get up and mother and you need to be firing on, if not all cylinders, like three of them, right?
And
And
then
like,
and then if you feel like you really need that glass of wine at the end of the day, then when you wake up with that like
yeah,
anxiety, you're going to convince yourself that like, okay, I'm not going to have, I think I had too many last night, but I'm going to cut it back to two for
yeah.
sure. And
Or I
then
didn't eat enough. Like that was it. I just didn't eat enough. Or maybe it's the sugar in the wine. Maybe I'll just do vodka, right? Because like, or oh my God, I forgot to drink water in between. Oh my God.
yeah.
It's not user error. It's just not user error, you guys. You're not the problem.
It's so true. And I think that, we all convince ourselves. And, I had already had a try at quitting drinking before this incident happened. And it was like when I decided to drive after having those drinks, I wasn't thinking like, oh God, I've had too many drinks. I was feeling
No.
good and fine,
Because you
perfectly
weren't,
fine.
yeah, you weren't in the alcohol had taken over your brain. Like
Yes.
you weren't the decision making Stephanie that you were when you got to that party. The second though alcohol hits your brain, your decision making is impaired. I mean, you are impaired, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so it's not this, yeah, it's not a way that like, well, we just got to do this better. I just have to continue to make good decisions even after I'm drinking. It's a different brain. Like the thing has taken over. I think, yeah. it's anytime I talk about like moms quitting drinking and like motherhood and sobriety, I think it can start to, and I always want to make sure it doesn't sound like I'm saying like, moms, we need to be our best selves. And so we need to stop drinking, right? Like, that's not it. Like, there's no like best anything here. What we have been sold will help us in motherhood and like get us through and, help us with the relentlessness of it and just the constant needing is hurting us, is hurting our mental health, and is getting us away from knowing what we need. And it's keeping us stuck and quiet. And like, there are many people who are benefiting from us being addicted and quiet. Because when we're in a society who doesn't take care of moms and who doesn't take the time to say systematically, what do moms need from the time we have babies and then all the way through, um, there's a lot of people who benefit from us being quiet. And like, I just got to the point where I was like, that's the cost is too high now. And so whether that is, maybe it is one glass of wine, right? Maybe it's two, maybe it's three. It'll ramp up, but whatever it is now, if I think what you're looking forward to at the end of the night is your glass of wine, I think what we do is we just stop a second and say like, what, why? Like, what am I? Is it to escape, which is totally fine because I want to escape too? Is it to numb? Is it to cope or conform or like belong? Like, let's get to the root of the why and then let's deal with that because there are real problems under that, right? Like, you have actual needs that need to be met. And the highly addictive substance is just masking that while also causing so much other shit on top of it.
I think you've just made some really important points. And I want to take that and talk to the people out there who are like, okay, but so let's say I'm a person with some ism to me and I'm not doing well moderating and it is taking up a lot of it's exhausting to moderate and I really do want to check out at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So how do you quit leave the alcohol behind and just not do it,
Mm-hmm.
it's and what do I replace it with? And I'll start because I'll say that, I think that's a really good question. I've been posed that question a lot. Okay, well, how do you do it?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like for me, I needed a bunch of support and I did,
Yes.
go to 12-step meetings and surround myself with other people who are doing the same thing.
Yep.
One of the tools that I used was like calling somebody
Yep.
and just going like, "Hey, I'm like kind of hurting right now. I'm feeling so anxious. Like I don't know what to do with myself. This is when I would really have a glass of wine."
Yeah.
And then sometimes I would need to just be talked through that moment, like by
Yes.
another sober person.
Yes.
And I called a girl that wrote a book called Mommy Doesn't Drink Here Anymore,
Yes,
Rachel
I love that book.
Brownell.
Yes.
And I called her once. Actually, I was IMing her over AOL Instant Messenger. And I was like, I'm dying. Help
Yeah.
me. And she was
Yes.
like, okay, can you get through like a few minutes? And actually, this
Yes.
was like more about Xanax. But the point is, I was
Yeah.
sometimes it's minute to minute. Okay, now what do I do 16 years later? I'll tell you what's like different for me. And then I want to
Yeah.
hear what's different for you. What's different for me is not that I don't need to escape or check out sometimes because my brain is very busy
Yep.
and I overthink and I have anxiety and all the things, right?
Yep.
So it's not magic. It's not like, oh, well, I just don't drink anymore. It's like, no, I
No.
still overdo my phone. I scroll and scroll.
Oh,
I play games on my phone. I sometimes
shop.
abuse the sugar.
Yeah.
But what's changed is that instead of using the alcohol to mask the things or whatever my little escapes are, I actually speak up for myself. Like I don't
Yes.
just try to eat it down, stuff it down
Yes.
and go, no, I don't want to say this. I don't want to tell my husband this is bothering me because then it's too much. I'm too
Yes.
needy.
Like, I
I
don't want to take up space.
Yes.
Yes.
Now I just
Yes.
go like, you know what? This is how I'm feeling. This
Mhm.
stuff leads to me wanting to do more of the checking out. So I'm just going to speak up and say, like, hey, I need more help with this. Or, I used to not be able to, this is like a sobriety thing. I used to not be able to tell my husband, like, hey, I need you to walk the dog because I'm busy right now. Because I'd
Yeah,
be like, oh,
totally.
I'll
Like,
just do it. I don't want to put anybody out ever. So I overfunction for everybody.
oh,
Yeah,
yes.
I
I
was
mean,
drinking.
that's what you right. That's the only way you could do that, right?
Right,
And
right.
when you think about, yeah, that's the cost. The cost of us, and that's such a relatable story for moms. It's like, no, I got it. I'll do it. I'll make that appointment. Oh, right, I got to get this. I got to do this. We're shouldering all of that. And the cost is our mental health. We are last on the list, right? And we really have to like elbow our way into the shit and make space for us. And I think that's part of the and this is kind of what I do in the book. Like the first half of the book, and each chapter is a shift from like a shift from anonymous to a shift from to proudly sober, or a shift from counting days to sober firsts, or whatever it is, right?
I
So we're
love
really
that.
like, yeah, it's shifting first. The first part of the book is going to shift how you your entire perspective on alcohol. And so that's like burn the shit down. So the first half of the book is burning the shit down, burning the shit about how we have learned about alcohol. Where did we get the messaging what alcohol was going to do for us? What did it really do for us, right? We're not lunatics. What are we getting from alcohol? Like we're getting something, right? And then the second half is the building. And I think what you're talking about is the building. And that takes time. And it can be scary to live in this kind of like barren wasteland of like, well, I took away what was really useful for me for a long time, right? I and has been a constant in my life. So you're I'm going to take alcohol away. You're not going to get to the building yet. And that's scary. So there is a lot of that like discomfort period of even just practicing being uncomfortable. And I talk a lot about ways in the book how we can practice being uncomfortable because I think that's really the key to all of it, and just like feeling our feelings. Because you guys, I promise you, I have felt all of the feelings in sobriety, and like they kind of just go. Like you just feel them, and then you fall to your knees and you cry or you like scream or whatever and feel anxiety, and then they just like leave. They don't stay, and you don't stay stuck in them. Um, I think that if someone's listening and she's like, I'm so sick of moderating, like I have, I've done a dry January, but I've lasted 20 days. And I always just kind of fall back into this like habitual cycle, or maybe it's compulsive or whatever it is, just this cycle, alcohol keeps coming back. I think telling someone, like real, like telling someone the truth about alcohol and your feelings about it is step number one. And that's really scary because we've been like, we don't talk about alcohol. We don't talk about the truth about it. Like, because we're afraid that they'll say, like, obviously you have to report to AA or whatever, you have to go to rehab or whatever it is, right? Like,
Right, right,
obviously,
right.
and
I'm
like,
going to call your husband and let him
obviously,
know.
yeah,
Yeah.
you will be on the front page of the paper with a, right? And like, you have to find or reach out or connect. If it's your husband, if it's your best friend, if it's an online, like that's why I created the Sober Mom Life Cafe. Go where women are telling the truth about alcohol and begin to tell the truth. And for to be in the cafe, you can still be drinking. It's not like you have to be sober, and it's very important to start to tell the truth. And then yeah, I mean, it's way leads on to way in this thing, right? And then you do find ways to escape. Like I escape these days in like I think music is a huge escape. I can put on like I can go for a run. I'm a huge runner. And so I could put on some like, 2007 rap and like go for a run, and I'm in Atlanta, man, and I'm 27 years old, and I'm in the clip club. Like I am like I'm right there. Like it just reminds me of a part of me that is still in there. Or water, like water's big for me, like crying in the shower. Cry. Like you guys cry. If you haven't cried this week, what are you doing? Like
Well, some
cry.
people can't just cry on demand, but I'd recommend
No,
like go look up a
songs.
movie. Yeah.
Okay,
Or watch
yes.
like some,
Watch Marley and Me or Beaches or yeah, yes. Just like cry. Put on like I lost my dad just a year into sobriety, which I talk a lot about. I write about in the book. And I loved I just it was almost, you guys, it's gonna sound weird, just stick with me. It was almost like an orgasm, like a good cry. It's like a wave, and I feel it. Like I am in my closet. I shut the door. My kids know this is one of my boundaries. If the door is shut in my closet, don't come in. Like that is a she is in there crying
you don't want to see
or
this.
no, you don't want it. No, this is not for anyone's eyes but mine, okay? And the good Lord. Like, no, this is not a safe zone for you. So, and I would feel like this, like, kind of wash over me. I would put on A Pirate Looks at 40 by Jimmy Buffett, his favorite song, and then I would just cry, and I still do it. Like, anytime I feel myself just like pissy and just like I have a hysterectomy, so I don't know if it's PMS, but maybe like whatever. I'm like, oh, I need a closet session. Like I need to go in there and make myself the saddest that I can possibly be to like release. And I need, like, we all need that. And I think, especially in early sobriety and as moms, we're afraid of these feelings. We're afraid of like, our big feelings, right? Of getting angry, resentful, anxious, sad, all of these things. And it's like, no, 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 lean in. Like that's where the message is. Lean into that.
Let me ask you, I wanted to bring up something that that I think is that this is a perfect lead into.
Yeah.
And that is for okay, so this is something that I read on your Facebook group. So
Oh,
you have
are
a
you
face
in there?
I'm in your Facebook group, yeah. Um and
Is it like the Wild Wild West in there? Isn't it wild?
yeah. It's a big group of people and a lot of them are anonymous. So I am not breaking anyone's
Yes. No.
anonymity. But somebody said that they were newly sober and they absolutely hate their husband. And
Oh,
and that
yes.
they just everything annoys them and they
Yeah.
think it and it's very overwhelming feeling. They feel like maybe they want to get a
Mm.
divorce, because
Mm-hmm.
it's just like
Mm-hmm.
so bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's a really common thing. And what I told this
Yes.
person, so I said you should go watch the movie When a Man Loves a Woman, the
Yes.
Meg Ryan movie, Meg
Oh,
Ryan,
so
Andy
good.
Garcia,
Mm-hmm.
classic. I'll tell you why this movie is great. Because a lot of movies about people getting sober are like, and then they get sober and then it lasts and then
And
we
then
live happily
everything's
ever
all
after.
good. Yeah.
But in A Man Loves a Woman, Meg Ryan goes to rehab, and that's just where the movie like really gets going
Kicks off.
because she
Yes.
comes home and Andy Garcia, who we loved at the
Oh,
beginning because
love.
he
Yeah.
loves her. He's so
Love.
cute. He's so
So,
like
oh, he's so hot in that
codependent.
movie. Yeah.
He's really
Yes.
hot. He's really
Yes.
like, how do I make you happy? I just love being with
Yep.
my wife.
Yep.
And then she just wants to kill him. When she gets home, she's like seeing her rehab friends and like she's got this whole other thing going on and he just wants to be like included and he's not
Yes.
understanding why she's having a little bit of a temper.
Yeah.
And her whole
Yes.
thing is and that there's this line in there where she says, like, she's like, I don't want you to touch me or something. And he's like, forgive me if I want a wife who doesn't like get grossed out when I try to touch her. Something like
Mm.
that.
Yeah.
They are going to be separated.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to
Yeah.
spoil the movie, but I
Spoiler.
said,
Like,
I think this is a common
uh,
issue. And I think a
yes.
lot of people feel this way. And I wanted you to like speak to that
I
sober shift.
totally. I think a lot of women, maybe not a lot, but I think some women are even afraid to quit drinking because this might happen,
Yes.
right? If
Yeah.
I quit drinking, I'm really going to be confronted by these feelings that I know I'm numbing. I want to numb these feelings because these are very uncomfortable feelings. I'm annoyed by him. Maybe then his drinking is going to bother me, right? And I can't tell you like if you quit drinking, your partner will then follow suit. I can tell you that you just never know what's going to happen. Um, but yeah, I think it is common. It's kind of like after having a baby, and around that like I don't know, 3, 4, 5 week mark that you're just going to hate your husband and you're going to want to leave him. And like, you're going to be like, you are useless. Like, you're not, like, even if you have a great husband, right?
Yeah.
I, and I think that these are really important feelings and these are messages that I mean, therapy helps. Therapy helps a whole lot to help you kind of decipher, okay, I hate my husband. Well, let me like dig into that. What do I hate? What does this hate mean? Like, am I feeling like I need a boundary? Like my boundary is no one touches me after 5 p.m. Okay? It's a hands like my kids. But yeah, I'll like hug my husband when he gets home, give him a smooch. But then I don't want to cuddle. I don't want to like I have been like poked and prodded, especially, during break when they're off. They hang on me like it, it starts to make my skin crawl and I don't want my people to make my skin crawl. And so then I will say, "You guys, I am touched out. Like I need my space. This is my safe space around me and no one's welcome in it, right?" And that sounds maybe bitchy, but that makes me a better, like, that makes it so that I'm not resentful of him. I think, when we are so used to kind of swallowing down our needs and our feelings of the unpleasant ones that we're feeling, that causes resentment. And like, resentment is a huge sign that you need a boundary. And so what's I would just try to, with the help of the therapist or with your husband, if you have that kind of relationship, like, hey, like my husband and I have these, not so much anymore, like we've got it, we're clicking along, but early on it's like, yeah, this is really, really bothering me. Like I hate when you have 3 beers at golf. I hate it. I'm fine with two. That was my boundary. I'm not okay with 3 beers. And so,
And well, tell me more. Like
yeah,
because of how the change,
yes, yeah, because of
because his
I could,
personality would change after
yeah.
three, but not with two.
And I think that I am, okay, it doesn't help for you to whisper. Here,
Shall I
take this.
pause?
Okay, sorry. Sorry. Okay, no, we're good. Um, I think because of how I grew up with my dad who drank, I think that then if you grew up with a parent who drinks, you're like super vigilant and like I'm just like always very um observing how people are acting, especially when there's alcohol involved. And so then yes, I could really see a difference, and no hard liquor. Like, cuz that I could feel like there was an edge that I didn't like, and I don't want an edge. Like, especially if I'm sober, like no, I just that was a hard line for me. And so yeah, what? So 2 beers, and it was Amstel Lights, and he's a huge guy. Like he's like 6'1", 200 pounds. So it's not like 2 beers. I was like, okay, three I didn't like. And it took a while. It was like more than one conversation. These boundaries that we start to have with our partners, you know, I knew that I kind of flipped the script on him. Like I was like, just one day I was like, I'm done drinking. I didn't ask him. I wasn't like, hey, what do you think if I was like, no, 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 your input is not needed because this is for me and this is something I want to do. But it affected him, right? And so then I had to kind of work with that. He now is sober like a year and 4 months or something, which is, right? You guys, wild. Like I would never have thought this would have happened. Um, yeah.
Did he
So,
start hating you after he got sober?
oh my God, I wonder. Oh, I should ask him. I'm gonna ask him. I'm gonna have him back on the podcast and I'll
We
ask
all
him.
drink to tamp down some feelings.
Yes.
So, and having those feelings is uncomfortable. And the person that you live with may be
Yeah.
the cause of, of some
Yes.
feelings that we're tamping down.
I
So
mean,
now
it
you can't
has to
tamp
be,
them down.
right?
So then you just
Yes.
feel raw irritation. And for
Yeah.
me, I think the only way through that is to just have some conversations. And you can just
Yes.
say, I don't know, I'm feeling like super irritable right now. And, like you said, make some boundaries or just say like,
Yeah.
hey, I need to be able to tell you that I don't love it when you do this or when I or just start asking for what you need and
Yeah.
listen, maybe you're going to see some things that you don't like, or maybe you're going to give your spouse an opportunity to like meet you where you're at and you're going to be
Yeah.
pleasantly surprised.
Yeah. And that's the terrifying, amazing thing about this whole, all of it. Like we get to experience new things. Like I quit drinking when I was 39. And like to just imagine, like I didn't really know how to feel. If you have alcohol in your life on a consistent basis, feelings are going to feel scary and new. And just that idea of like, oh my God, at 39, I'm learning how to feel and I'm learning what that means and all of that. Like, learning how to be bored and like, what do I want to do with my time now and my brain power and my mental energy now that I'm not thinking about alcohol?
Watch
So
TV and eat
instead,
sugar.
yeah, and talk about alcohol. Oh, I know. I have an idea. Let's create a podcast and then we'll just talk about alcohol.
Well, I do love talking.
I know, me too. It's so good. But yeah, it's terrifying. But it's like the best kind of terrifying.
It really is the best kind of terrifying. And
Yeah.
and now is a great time. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do, obviously. But now is a really good time to experiment with quitting drinking because there is a lot of
So
acceptance,
much.
help, Facebook groups, podcasts to
Yes.
listen to. You know,
Yeah, you're not like a leper now. No one's
no,
gonna be like, wait, I'm sorry, what? Like it's like you guys were making it chic. Like
we,
sobriety is chic. And
we're doing
so,
that.
yeah, Stephanie and I have made it chic. Let me check. Yes, it is chic. Okay, we've got it. So like, yeah, now is I mean, I can't even imagine when you quit. And now even from when I quit, it's night and day. So like when you quit, there was none of that.
I quit during blogging times.
Yeah.
This is might as well have been like the 70s
Yeah.
because it was like the world was just full of bloggers and they were all drinking and they all
Uh-huh.
had blog names like Mommy Needs Her Vodka or whatever.
Yes.
And I was
Yes.
just like, I am going to be out of the girls club. No bloggers. But
Oh.
it was honestly very surprising because a lot of people were like, hell yeah, I think I need to quit too. And then a
Yeah.
bunch of people, I don't want to take all the credit. I'll
You
take
should.
most
No,
of it. Yeah.
yeah, take all of it.
A lot
Because
of bloggers
yes.
were like, oh shit, maybe I have a problem too. And then a bunch
Yes.
of us started to get sober.
See, you guys, we have Stephanie to thank for real. No, but it's true. Here's the thing. Like when I quit drinking, I wanted to see like badass women who were sober. Like I wanted to see someone like me. I wanted to see someone who I could look to and be like, "Oh, she's cool and she's not drinking and that's you." And so like we do need, yeah, thank you.
Well,
We
listen,
need
and
you.
I was the person who probably caused a lot of women to drink. So like hopefully, but I'm the same way. I wanted to see women
Yes.
who are sober because they used to drink too way too much or they fucked up,
Yes.
not because they love Jesus.
Yes. Yes. Oh, that's a whole other podcast. I could talk all about loving
But like not because they're
Yes.
pious and they
No,
believe
no,
that it's morally
no,
bad,
no,
but
no.
because
Like
they
we've seen some shit, you know?
yeah,
We've
we've seen some
seen
shit.
and done some shit.
Yeah.
And like we come out the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the book is The Sober Shift.
The sober
The
shift.
release date is September
30th.
30th. I knew
Yep.
that. Yeah, September 30th. it's on pre-sale right now.
Right now.
And Suzanne and her publisher and publicist will be so happy if you just like
Oh,
hit that pre-order
you
button.
guys, I will. Oh, and actually, there's like incentives too. You'll get 3 mocktails, one that's not in the book, because the book does include 10 mocktails. And so you'll get one that's not in the book. And then also you'll be included in a Zoom with me at sometime in October. And so we'll get
Oh,
to like hang out.
hell
Right?
yeah.
I
Hell
know.
yeah.
Right?
So
Yeah.
give us the so the book available
Yep.
everywhere.
Yep, and yeah, it's available everywhere you find books. The best place to go is go to SuzanneWarye.com, and then that's where you'll see where to get the book. You'll see, like, I'm going on a little tour, a little mini
Oh,
tour. And so
like in
you'll see all
person?
yeah. Yeah.
Where are you
I'll
going?
tell you. Okay. We're firming it up now. So I have one here in Chicago in Winnetka at the bookstall. That's on pub day. And then I'll be in Indy the next day. I'll get all of the to, I believe, Boston, DC, Santa Monica to Zibby.
Oh,
I know. Can you come?
of
I'll tell you.
course.
Okay.
Hopefully
Okay,
it's
good.
not on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday.
You know it is. I think it is. Of
Are you
course
sure
it
it's
is.
not on a Sunday?
No, it's not. I think they're all either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. Why,
Well,
those your
we'll
working
find out.
days?
Although
Okay, we'll find out.
I teach my writing class on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but
Okay.
from 5 to 7. But we'll see. We'll see what I
Okay,
maybe
okay.
it's on a
TBD.
week in between. Yeah.
Maybe it's on a Monday. That one might be on a Monday.
Well, then I am
I'll I'll
in.
I'll tell. Okay, good. I'll tell you. And then one more Seattle. Um,
How exciting.
yeah, I know. Oh my gosh,
All right. Well, go pick
terrifying.
up the book. They can
Yay.
follow you on the Instagram.
Follow
I
me on the Instagram at Suzanne Warye.
Okay, and I will put that in the episode description. And you also have the Sober Mom is
The
also your
Sober Mom
Instagram,
Life. Yep, the
Sober
Sober
Mom
Mom
Life.
Life
And the
podcast.
podcast is the Sober Mom Life. I have been
Yep.
on it. It's an amazing podcast.
Thank you.
So yeah, you have all the things. Thank you
Yep.
so much. I
Oh my
hope this was
gosh.
helpful to some people.
I do too. I hope so too. And just know you're not alone.
Yeah.
And that it's so much better on this side. It just is.
All right. Thanks everybody. Goodbye.
Life is good, life is good, yeah. Life is good, life